August 15th, 1977. Deep in the fields of Ohio, a massive radio telescope was blind, deaf, and silent. It wasn't searching for anything, it was just waiting, letting the Earth's rotation drag it across the night sky. Listening to the monotonous hiss of dead stars. For years, it heard absolutely nothing but the hum of the galaxy. Then, on this night, the machine picked up a sound that shouldn't exist. It wasn't a star. It wasn't a glitch. It was a cry from the dark that science still hasn't explained. For exactly 72 seconds, the big ear registers a data spike that contradicts every known law of cosmic background noise. It is a sharp, distinct burst of energy, 30 times more powerful than the chaotic, random background hum of space. Later that day, astronomer Jerry Ehrman reviews the paper trail. He stares at the data stream, the sequence 6EQUJ5. He circles it in red ink. He writes one word in the margin: wow. He didn't know it then, but he had just recorded the most famous mystery in the history of radio astronomy. And then, just like that, it was gone. It never repeated. It never returned. Was this our first hello from another world, or did we just misunderstand the silence of space? To audit this mystery, we have to look at the physics. The signal hit exactly 1420 megahertz. In the world of science, this is known as the hydrogen line. Hydrogen is the most common element in the universe, and this specific frequency is the quietest part of the cosmic radio dial. Most natural objects, stars, nebulae, gas clouds, emit broadband noise, which is messy and scattered. Think of it like white noise or a heavy rainstorm. But the WOW signal was narrowband. It was perfectly tuned, a single crystal-clear note played in the middle of a storm. In radio astronomy, narrowband is the smoking gun of artificial engineering. It is the signature of something that was manufactured. But there is another layer to the crime scene, the signal's rise and fall. It grew in intensity and faded in a perfect curve that matched the telescope's receiving pattern. The classic signature of a point source in space. It wasn't an atmospheric ripple. It was a targeted beam, aimed directly at our location in the galaxy. In any forensic investigation, you look for a natural suspect. For decades, the lead theory was a passing comet. Researchers argued that hydrogen clouds trailing behind a comet could mimic this signal. It sounded logical until you audit the math. A comet's hydrogen cloud would have drifted across the sky as the planet rotated, causing the signal to smear or shift. But the WOW signal stayed locked in a fixed position. The data doesn't fit the comet transit time. The math is flat out wrong. Then there is the hardware glitch theory. Could it have been military hardware interference? A signal bouncing off a piece of space junk? It's the most plausible human explanation. But the big ear was a fixed horn instrument, not a tracking dish. For a bounce to occur, the timing, the frequency and the position would have had to align with impossible, near-zero probability precision. We have looked for similar bounces for 50 years and the record is empty. We are searching for an artifact that, according to the data, should have left a trail, but the trail doesn't exist. We have to look at the persistence of the anomaly. The source was a fixed coordinate in the Sagittarius constellation. This is not a random area of the sky. Modern massive arrays, like the Breakthrough Listen initiative, have spent thousands of hours staring at this exact patch of space with equipment millions of times more sensitive than the 1977 Big Ear. They found nothing. No repetition, no secondary signal, no faint background echo. In a forensic audit, an unrepeatable result is usually discarded as an error. But how do you discard a result that is mathematically perfect? It was loud, it was precise, and it was intelligent. And then it simply ceased to exist. The silence is not evidence of absence. The silence is the anomaly itself. Why send a message once? Why speak for 72 seconds and then go silent for half a century? If this was a test, we failed to provide a response. If this was a beacon, we haven't found the receiver. The data is still sitting there, alone, screaming into the void, while we stand on the outside of the room looking at a locked door. If this was a natural phenomenon, the laws of physics dictate we should see it again. If it were an intelligent broadcast, it suggests a behavior we cannot comprehend. Was it a probe passing through our system? A leak from a planetary communication we were never meant to intercept? Or were we just the accidental witness to a conversation we were never part of? We have been eavesdropping on the universe for a blink of an eye. The wow signal suggests that the void is not empty. It is occupied. We are just not on the right frequency. The forensic patterns of this case, the frequency, the intensity, and the impossible silence, suggest something was here. Something that didn't stay. It was a flyby. A momentary opening of a channel that slammed shut before we could even understand the language. We have the signal. We have 50 years of failure to replicate the data. We are left with the cold reality of the void. We have scanned the sky, mapped the coordinates, and audited every theory. But we are still looking for the second note. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Do you think the wow signal was an intentional message from another civilization or just a ghost in the machine?